This is the third thing you have to bring home today. Canonical means that it's your preferred version of the page. When you have a website, especially if you use a content management system, for example WordPress or Joomla, Drupal, whatever it is that you use. Anybody using WordPress? Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. Now don't take it wrong. Last time it was people were like scared to death. So now I will say it very mildly, but this kind of system tend to generate URLs which are actually not pages. They're like, for example, if you have a category with a bunch of pages inside, that's a URL, right? And you have to be careful to set the system in a way that doesn't generate like random URLs. Because if that happens, all these links with a lot of parameters inside, they are going in the index and they have absolutely no value. They are just clogging the index and they're actually hurting your rankings because you have many more pages in the index. I've seen websites with like maybe 50 pages of content and 2,000 pages in the index. How does this happen? Because all the variations of these links with parameters inside, with belonging to one category or one tag or something different, they are all in the index. And so you have some tools, like you have a file which is called robot.txt, and then you have also inside the page you have meta tags, you have a robot meta tag. You can tell to the robot if this page has to go in the index or not, okay? And this is one thing. The other thing is that, write it down, this is important. If you have an HTTP website or an HTTPS secure website, right? And probably you are serving the same content, right? You have the same pages on both websites and you can reach the website with one link or another. It doesn't matter. For the user, it doesn't matter. What happens is that the search engine thinks that it does matter. So for the search engine, these are two different pages. Even if the URL differs only for the S in the HTTPS, right? So what happens is you are duplicating your page, right? And then I add more. www. Yeah, you can have, my domain is andreabronzini.com, but I can go there with www.andreabronzini.com. I can go there with https andreabronzini.com or with https www. So there are four. You have two HTTPS, you have www, not www, okay? Now there are four. We can even make them 8 if we keep talking. But so you understand that I have one page, one single page. Okay, let's make 8. Trailing slash in the end. You have it, it's one page. You don't have it, it's another page. So now we have 8 versions of the same page. And we're telling to the search engine, hey, these are 8 different pages. So they go 8 times in the index, okay? What happens? That when your pages start to have links, and be very mindful, you have no control whatsoever on how people are linking to your page. They could link to your page with andreabronzini.com !, some very cool stuff equal 1, 2, 3. That's another page. Okay, 9. Now you can make 10,000, okay? So all these pages are going in the index one by one. What happens to your authority? I have to define what is authority. Authority is a kind of juice that you have in the page, right? How important is the page for this search term, for this search query? If I have a very good page, chances are that I have a lot of authority on this topic and on these keywords, okay? So I should rank really, really well. But if the links which are coming to my page are split in 10 different pages, what happens to my authority? It's split in 10 different pieces. So I rank much, much lower than I could if I had one page. So this is absolutely the first thing. I said three things today that you have to remember. One is like, your biggest problem is obscurity. Remember that. 2, keywords. You gotta get the keywords as soon as possible. And 3, you have to check that you don't have duplicates, because this will kill your ranking.
What to do when you have?
You have to change the page. You have to modify the page one by one. If you have 100 pages, all of them you have to check. This you do when you do the website audit. You're checking these things. And if you find duplicates, you have to fix it. And then you start to edit all the robots, all these things one by one. And you have to tell Google that that's not the page I want to index. This one is the one I want to index. And there is an attribute, meta, whatever, link. It's called rel canonical. It stays in the head of the page, in the HTML source of the page. And in there, you have to write the URL, the full URL of the page that you want to be indexed. Okay? That's a very simple thing to do. But if you don't do it, you end up with 20 different indexed pages for the same piece of content. And this will kill your ranking. Yes? You go on the Search Console account and you ask Google to recrawl your website. How fast it is? Depends. It might take, they're usually pretty quick to reindex things, but they might do it, they might not. So you have to do what you should do. And these are best practices. So on the long term, Google will remove from the index the pages that are no longer valid, and they will be replaced with the one that is valid. And all the juice, all the authority is transferred to the page that you have put in the canonical link, okay? Yeah, you can do a redirect, yes, you can do a 301. It's the same, you can do it with canonical or you can do it with redirect. But there is one thing, that with redirect, you can redirect the pages which, unless you use some fancy matching in the redirect, usually you are able to redirect the pages that you know of. Like you make an audit, you see what is wrong, and you try to fix one by one all these cases. But all the pages that will come after that, you are not redirecting those. So depending on the URL, this could be complicated to do. Yeah, it's fixing the wrong links, but the smarter thing to do is to fix the source. So you fix the page and you just write rel canonical is this. Then you can even do the 301 redirect, so that Google, next time somebody actually clicks on that link, Google see the redirect and they will, let's say naturally, they will think of removing the page because it redirects. So that's another way to go about it. Yeah? Yeah, 302 is, we are talking of codes for redirect here. I don't know if everybody gets it. But so when you load a page, there is a code. And if you get this number 301, it means that the page has been permanently moved. So search engine knows that this URL is no longer valid. New one is this. 301 you must use, because 302 is temporary move. So that's so 301.